What it do, y'all? Welcome to another week of Tech File. We got a lot to talk about. That's why we delayed this week's episode. We got the NBA trade deadline. We got a lot to react to from that. We got the Super Bowl coming up. We had the Royal Rumble this past weekend. So might as well not dilly dally here. Like, let's just go and get into it because we got a lot to talk about.
We do.
Hit him hard, let's go. Red T-E-C-K, running back like where's my replay? Got it all in the mix, no DJs. Said it's hard in the game like he damn miscellaneous. Spitting real talk for the entertainment. The podcast that the game up and they get stuck back down like a WrestleMania. Tell them that it better get their nose ready at a home city. You know, get it block even on the low setting. And you know what you say, so we never gotta get tight than everybody else. They should get ready. Ain't nobody else doing this like I. Better keep them cameras and microphones hot, cause this one's a vibe. Gotta run this race with my tribe. Going live with the pie. Do it like there's no tomorrow. Came to my ear later. Shout out to my point guard. We about to hit them hard. Got them throwing in the tap. Tell the red blow the whistle. This is technical file.
Welcome to episode 376 of Technical File, the sports podcast you never knew you needed.
And it's your boy Timkinz, the number 3, aka Ass Ketchum, aka Mr. Give It To Me. I gotta be controlled. I'm at the crib, you know.
Sound like a frog.
Oh, what?
That's what I heard. Another frog.
I'm
Only known as
the RJ.
And I'm Camille, point guard of the crew, the real life Tifa Lockhart, the girl next door, you know, holding it down for all the women who love sports. Kay Harris, the gentleman, is experiencing some technical difficulties due to the current weather here in Milwaukee with this windstorm. So he might be joining us, he might not, but we're going to keep it rocking. We don't want to keep y'all waiting. And again, a lot to talk about. So some housekeeping before we actually get into the swing of things here. First and foremost, make sure you are following us on all our various social media platforms. Technical File, TECKNICALFOUL on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Technical File Podcast on Facebook and the YouTube on the YouTube side of things. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live so you can join us and be part of the show every single week. So this week we try something different. We actually streaming live to our Facebook page as well, just to see how we enjoy that. So make sure you are following us on all of our various social media platforms. Now, again, a lot to talk about this week, y'all. We're going to start with the NBA trade deadline. From the deadline, we're going to then talk about Super Bowl, and then we're going to end with some wrestling. So there ain't no need to really hold it up. Let's get into it. I just have to say, too, I think it's really funny that the NBA is getting this much credit and this much conversation right now during the week of the Super Bowl. It's kind of like the NBA is getting a lick back for the NFL playing games on Christmas. Exactly. So I love it. The NBA trade deadline has been cracking. And we got to start with the most surprising trade that occurred over the weekend. I can't remember when it was at this point. Everything is a blur from this trade.
Saturday night.
Saturday night. The night I went to bed early and woke up to like, wait, what happened? The Lakers traded Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and 1 first-round pick to the Mavericks for Luka Doncic. What was y'all initial reaction when y'all saw that trade go through?
I thought Shams got hacked. Like I have text notifications on for NBA newsbreakers. It used to be Woj, but now Shams, Chris Haynes, Mark Stein, Jake Fisher. So like I got that one from Shams, and like usually when some news breaks, like I get the same message like 5 times because like every newsbreaker has to like they have to get their own tweet off. I was like, nah, I'm not. I'm like Shams, you gotta stop letting them little Ronies into your room. Like, don't, you got to change your password. Like, I just thought it was cap. And then his follow-up tweet was like, yes, this is real. And here are the details. I'm like, see, but that's what somebody would say. Like, if they hacked your phone, they'd be like, yes, this is real. And so, like, I really didn't believe it. But then ESPN tweeted it. And then, like, you started to see other newsbreakers, like, slowly be like, I just checked with my sources and like it actually happened, and at that point, like my mind was completely blown.
It was like 11:30 at night. So it was when I seen it, it was about 11:30. I'm like, y'all, middle of the night. And I looked, I was like, hey, yo. I was like, wait, what you yelling for? Like, hey, my bad. Shit, huh? Hey, I'm like, oh, y'all will do this in the middle of the night. Like, ain't nobody up paying attention to this mug. I was like, that's some shit to happen just out of nowhere. But I said, wow, though. Honestly, like it was big on shit. If you wanted a wow factor, it was like, that's it. That's how you gave up for Luka. Like, I get it. AD is top 10 guy, but for guys of that echelon, like AD for Luka, you like hell yeah,
Right.
On the receiving end of Luka, like it's not like you're not getting a bad player in AD. It's just like long and short term. What are you thinking?
But it's Luka.
It's Luka. Like it's
a 25-year-old All-NBA perennial All-Star Luka Doncic who just took your team to the finals
last season.
What? Like when I got up, all I had was confusion. Why did I have so many texts on my phone? My phone, I was like, my group chat had like 70, then the text file one had like 20, and I was like, what? Twitter, and I was like, what is happening? Then I see like the little ESPN alerts, like Luka traded, and I was like, I can't be reading that correctly because why would the Mavericks do that? The wind got Eric too, man. Listen,
yeah,
it's vicious out here, but
it's that kind of night.
It is, but I was just sitting there like, wait, what? And then when I saw that's all it took for them to be able to get him back to the Lakers, I said it was highway robbery going on because what sense does that make? How did this even happen? But then you find out a large part of it is because Nico was so fixated on having Anthony Davis. Like that was the vision. And then he had the relationship with Rob Pelinka from their time at Nike and they Kobe connection. So he was the only one, quote unquote, that he could trust, have the conversations. And
of course,
his net worth was his net worth, man. Like Rob came up and then he fleeced them. They had Connect on the table. They had the other first round pick on the table. And Rob Pelinka's like, hey, because this is so hush, this is so secret. We don't know if Luka going to resign, so we can't give you 2 firsts. That ain't fair, right? And Nico was like, yeah, you right.
But I mean, for some people, I feel like it's I have a vision in mind. And if I have a vision in mind, there's certain things that I need, and you just are not part of that vision that I need. So for him, like he said it before, like I've taken chances, and we'll find out later if I'm wrong or not. I mean, you got 2 of them already. Made a splash at the trade deadline with Kyrie. That was a good one. But
with PJ,
why Porzingis ain't there no more?
Hey,
why Brunson ain't there no more? Like those ain't little gaps.
So like I think Porzingis was before he got there. I think, and then Brunson. I think Mark Cuban screwed that up. So
it was in the last 2 years, right?
No, Porzingis was a while ago because remember he went to Washington first
before he went to Boston.
Oh yeah, didn't know.
Yeah.
Take Porzingis off the record.
like the Mark Cuban part of it is like why I'm like I feel like Nico is just kind of taking the bullets, which is his job, but it's like these moves don't happen if ownership doesn't sign off. So it's not just dude went rogue and was like, you know what, we need to get rid of this dude, and like it just happened. It's like ownership has to buy in, and more often than not, when it's superstar level things, like it starts at the ownership. So like I don't know who Luka pissed off, but it seems to be it seems to start ahead above Nico Harrison. But also I think that the key decision makers in the organization were on the same side of it because there's too much money involved. There's too much backlash that is gonna come your way. Like to not
money, crazy.
Yeah. So like I think I was telling you guys before, and I don't know if we got to this part of the conversation because I got knocked off because the wind is whipping my Wi-Fi ass. But I don't necessarily like if this is a decision that the key decision makers in that organization came to. I don't think that targeting a specific player and trying to keep things kind of under wraps
is a bad way of going about things. But if you identify Anthony Davis as your target, then I think that where they fucked up is that they didn't get literally everything from the Lakers. Like, you devalued your own asset.
Mm-hmm.
If you get what I'm saying, like, it's like you go in there and because you're through with him, you're like, oh well, I mean, I guess like he's kind of damaged goods, or somebody else is gonna look at him the same way. Whereas the Lakers are like, I just got a gift, like dropped in my lap. But I mean, like, clearly they don't know what they have, so I'm gonna keep pushing, and like they kept acquiescing to the point where it's like the extra stuff that went, the non-salary matching stuff that went to Charlotte for Mark Williams, like those things should have been in the Luka trade, just like off GP. Like there shouldn't have been a crumb left in LA for them to spend and get something else. Like you take every pick, you take every swap, you take every second rounder, you take every prospect. Like you have a 25-year-old player in the prime of their career. And I get that Anthony Davis was the prize and was like the little sweetener, but it's like, no, you take everything. And if they don't want to give you that, then it's like, all right, well, we move. Like, what you gonna do? Not get Luka Doncic?
Right, because it's Luka. And I see Charlotte in the comments. Yeah, I've been working today, boss. I've been working. But he said, if I'm Luka, I'm fighting everybody. 116 mil gone. Yeah, I'm catching the case. Yeah, he can't get that Supermax now that he has been traded. That was a Dallas thing, and now he cannot get it. And listen, when I heard Dallas's reasoning behind it, and apparently Nico took this to ownership and they laughed initially, and then we're like, we're kind of with it. It's a different group that didn't draft Luka. If Mark Cuban was still in place there, this would have never have happened. Mark Cuban already said, I would rather divorce my wife before I trade Luka. Out of his mouth, he said that. But this new ownership group doesn't have that connection to him, and they have concerns about how serious he takes his conditioning and whatnot. So they feel, hey, we're going to go in this different direction. Like they are taking a big bet, a big risk on like, this is the pathway that's going to work out.
I think they're banking more on defense this
time.
Yes. Because to be fair, that man was a cone. He was a cone.
They had that super cut of his defense during the finals, and like Boston was targeting him, and he was not holding up whatsoever. He got real petulant, like he was moping, like he just did not handle that stage correctly for a superstar player. Like I'm not gonna say he lost the series for him, but he was a big part of the reason why they weren't even competitive.
Couldn't stop him.
Yeah, they were targeting him. That was the whole offense for the Celtics. Find Luka, hunt that mismatch, and attack it. And
you got four people that can. Like that's the nuts part. Like hell, throw Horford in there.
Let me ask you this, because we mentioned that they also acquired Mark Williams. They got him from the Hornets for Dalton Connect, Cam Reddish, the 2031 unprotected first round pick, a 2030 pick swap. Do you think the Lakers overpaid for Mark Williams, a young center who has a lot of potential, but who has had an injury-riddled history so far in his young career? Plus, there are some concerns about his defense.
I don't think so. Like, I think that a player that good, because he has been good, like when he's played offensively, at least, that fits that style of play. Like so what happened is that Luka had a conversation with Rob Pelinka and was like, hey, I need a lob threat. And 25-year-old 7-footers with 8 feet wingspans and, you know, the athleticism to kind of move around and jump out the gym, like they don't grow on trees. And the same reason why the Lakers will want him is why he's thrived in Charlotte, which is, you know, like he's the perfect lob companion to a player like Luka or like LaMelo Ball. So like I think that Charlotte valued him highly, and they were like, no, we're not giving him up. But then they're like, okay, well, we'll throw in this, and like, all right, cool, we can do that. So like you had to jump the same way that I said, like you get as much as you can when you have the asset. For Dallas is the same reason why Charlotte's like, no, you got to come harder than that before. Pause. But you have to come with a better, I was about to say better package. Okay. You have to make it worth my while to do the trade.
It's still there.
whatever. It's sports. Like there are always going to be. It's always going to happen. There's no unpause worthy way of saying it. But no, I think that was the price that you pay for a guy that's 25 that can put up 20 and 10, give you a couple blocks. Like his defensive potential is at least there still. Like I don't think it's necessarily a skill issue. It's more of a will issue at this point, and he just has to learn the NBA game. Like you say, he's barely played over the 3 years that he's been in the league. But he was a good defender in college. He's huge, so that helps. He just has to kind of continue to work on that, and I think that putting him in kind of like a high leverage position on the Lakers is just going to get him better through reps.
And he's with Luka and LeBron, two guys who are going to be very keen and adept at finding him when he's rolling, finding him in the most advantageous situations for him to get buckets. Like he's also dog on the glass. Like I like the fit for him there. They needed a center. When they had AD, they traded AD. They really needed a center, and now you go and get somebody young like that. Like I like it, and I don't think it's an overpay in one way, yes, but it's also not because they didn't pay much to get Luka. So all in all, what they gave out the door to get back Luka and Mark Williams, like I think that was worth it at the end of the day.
And one thing I forgot to mention is that they have Luka, they have LeBron. Like your team is already going to be all offense, no defense anyway. So might as well lean into it.
Yeah,
but at least in that size, like they are going to be a bigger team. You mentioned that in our group chat, Eric, of just like they might not have the perimeter defense there, but they do have sheer size they can throw at people. So I can't wait. It's looking like Luka's going to make his debut on Monday for the Lakers. So ESPN flexed that game this weekend for no reason. But Monday, it's looking like it's going to be Luka's debut. And Tim, let me ask you this. With the moves that the Lakers have made, with Luka being there now, with Mark Williams being there, how do you feel about the Lakers' championship aspirations for this season?
Roughly the same, honestly.
Really?
They're number 5 in the West right now. Like it's not like they shitty. It's not like they're not fighting. It's not like they're not giving the top teams an issue a bit. So, but it's pending their health. Like getting Mark Williams good. Mark Williams ain't played over 50 games. Like getting Luka good. Like you said, it's a snow cone. Like.
Damn, not even a regular cone. That's no cone.
No, because the longer he's on the court, the more his defense goes away.
Well, I thought it was because he's white.
I mean, that's where the snow part came in, but it helps. Everything helps. Everything. It all applies. And it's just like, but offensively, like you said, like adding Mark Williams and him wanting a lob threat and him recently putting up like 31 and 20 or 28 and 15, shit like that, like, and not having a Luka or a LeBron will only help him get better. And I'm like, that's kind of, I don't think he gonna put up that type of number, but if he do on the Lakers with them two around, like that's nuts. That would be nuts, and that'd be a big game for them. But that defense, he didn't give up. What Bobby had yesterday, like 27 and 15.
No, he had 20, 25 and 17, I think.
Yeah, I don't think Mark Williams was playing though. I don't remember seeing him.
No, he didn't play in that game.
Okay. I'm like, well, before that, it was somebody else. AD just put
AD
smoked him. Yeah, like I get it. It's just defensively at 7 feet, like he can learn. He has the talent there. Like there's something there, like Eric said, but it's just he got to stay on the floor first.
That's fair. That's real fair.
But like if they can, pending their health, they do have a team that I feel like their health and chemistry is what I said. Because you still have to build now a whole new chemistry with your big man and your new super duper star. And that's being LeBron, who the world no longer revolves around him in LA.
Do you think that there's going to be a problem for LeBron adjusting to be the number 2?
That's going to be interesting. I don't know.
He's never had to do that in his career.
Never.
He claims that he has wanted to, though. So
the way he plays,
I believe him.
Like the way he plays is perfect for him to be a number 2 if he needs to be, because he's going to always do the best thing for the team and make the best play for the team.
He said, "I'm 40."
Yeah,
you carry.
I think he'll be fine. Like I think it'll probably for the first little bit it'll be like your turn, my turn type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think that he'll necessarily seamlessly fit in as just like
I'm here. Like, if you need me, a second side shooter or anything like that. Like, that will take some time to kind of adjust. But like, LeBron is a Hall of Famer off of like knowing when to coast and knowing when to turn it on. So like he'll kind of fill in the spots, and like honestly, if you set up your rotation correctly, like you can have 48 minutes of either Luka or LeBron on the court at all times. Which
that's crazy. That's crazy. 48 minutes of Luka and or LeBron at all time. Like, come on, man. They're gonna be tough. Let me ask y'all real quick, the Dallas side of things. How do y'all think AD fits? And do you think that they can compete for a championship this season?
I would have liked to have, like, the way that the Lakers went out and addressed obvious deficiency in their post-trade lineup by getting a big. Like, I feel like, and like, granted, I don't know what offers were on the table, but I feel like Dallas should have prioritized getting a secondary creator, because I don't feel like, because like so much of their ball creation previously was Luka and Kyrie, and like now who's your third creator? Like who's handling the ball when Kyrie's off the court? Is it Jaden Hardy? Like that's a really steep drop off. And like you at least need somebody else that can do something with the ball. I feel like, I mean, hell, like maybe Ben Simmons goes there if he gets bought out, but like you need somebody else that can kind of create a shot for others, because like right now you have a team that was initially built as, people that are just there to shoot threes or catch lobs off of Luka penetrations, and now that key. My son's busting here. Sorry. The key cog in that plan of attack is now gone. So like I think that they'll figure it out, but I do feel like they're missing like a secondary ball creator.
Yeah. That's probably the gap in the Mavericks that I see right now as well. But they got some defense up front. AD with Gafford and Lively when he's healthy too. Like that's going to be a really tough front court to score against. If they lean in on defense, that's the way to go.
I agree with the defense thing. I think on the Dallas side of things, AD presents them with an incredible front court rotation for defense. That they probably can't guard 3 through 5. Especially with AD here, especially because of the fact that they have Gafford and to allow him to truly play the 4. Like, yeah, that defensive rotation is going to be disgusting. I like Dinwiddie still, though. Dinwiddie is the backup point guard now. I know.
I forgot about him, but yeah, that doesn't give me any more.
I know, but Dinwiddie's actually been playing pretty good. I've always been a fan of Dinwiddie. But like this year, he's actually showing up. Like the games that I've seen of Dallas, I've been trying to utilize my NBA app a little bit more. So I've been checking him out a little bit. And Dinwiddie's been looking pretty good. So that I doubt he factored into why they traded Luka, but it's not bad to have a player like him behind Kyrie, at least for another facilitator or point guard.
That's fair.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Let's turn our attention to the Milwaukee Bucks here, because it's the end of an era in Milwaukee. 22 out. Khris Middleton traded along with AJ Johnson to the Washington Wizards, one of the worst teams in the NBA. Let me just say, I feel bad for my guy Khris having to be in that situation here. But Khris and AJ traded to the Wizards for Kyle Kuzma and Pat Baldwin. Pat Baldwin was then traded from the Bucks to the Jazz and pretty much a salary dump. Not even going to include him in the conversation. And then you also had the Bucks sending out DeLon Wright to the Knicks for Jericho Sims. I'm pretty sure as we are recording this, that trade has not yet been finalized. I'm thinking there's other teams that might be in this. I don't know. We know multi-team trades can be complicated, so still waiting to see the official breakdown of the trade. But as it stands, the Bucks lost Khris Middleton, AJ Johnson, DeLon Wright, and Marjon Beauchamp. And this trade deadline, what they brought back was Kyle Kuzma, Jericho Sims, and Kevin Porter Jr. from the Clippers. Now, first question I have to ask y'all is just, how do you feel about this particular era of Bucks basketball coming to a close? Because when Giannis got here, Khris had just got here as well. Behind Steph and Draymond, they were the second longest tenured active duo in the NBA. So like the last 11 and a half years, we've seen 22 in Milwaukee. and that has come to a close. So I know the two of you have both been saying, like, I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. Who wants to start with how they feel about Middleton being gone in this particular era of Bucks basketball coming to a close?
You can go ahead.
Like I'd already made peace with Khris leaving. Like, you know, the writing was pretty much on the wall. Like, they were in literally every conversation, and a lot of them required big salaries. So I was like, yeah, putting two and two together, like, they're ready to move on. Clearly, he's lost a step or two. Defensively, I saw you had shared some stuff about like his slow recoveries from various injuries that he's had over the years. So like, it's been clear for a while, like, that it's been time to move on. And yeah, so like I was fine with that. I was hoping that the return would be better, and not like we have this player that I clearly know is diminished, and therefore we can trade them for somebody that's really good. But it's also like I would at least hope that they would target somebody that I feel like fit better. And like, granted, Kuzma he's big, he's mobile, but man, is he shooting poorly this year.
Poor
from every part of the field. Like, there's no, well, at least he's doing, like, nope, it's just
from the free
bad
throw line.
everywhere.
From the free throw line. Y'all
Like,
been on Giannis' head.
He's shooting sub 30% from three. Like, there's no redeeming anything offensively. And like, the one thing I will give him, I guess, is that he can create his own shot. So at least it's not just like a complete like catch and shoot player that can't shoot. But I don't know how much decision making you want to put in his hands either. So it's just like that type of stuff is kind of like, it's the trade-offs.
That's it. That's why it's confusing.
Yeah, like, is the trade-off like for the athleticism and defensive versatility worth the downgrade offensively? And like I said a couple weeks ago, kind of like the institutional knowledge that you have with Khris Middleton, knowing how to play with Giannis and being like his best pick and roll partner. But like, when they made that deal, it's like, I mean, if that's the best you can do, that's the best you can do. It's kind of shitty like to send him to Washington, which is the worst team in the league, and he has no chance of a buyout really, so he's just going to be stuck there at least for the rest of this year.
You can pick it with Malcolm Brogdon though. They down there. Hey, former Bucks. What?
I mean, they got Marcus Smart now too, so at least he won't be the only old dude there.
No, they won't be absolutely terrible.
No, I mean, they have a few. I mean, they traded out Valanciunas, so they lost a vet, but they brought back some more vets to be with these young guys. So like, they probably gonna win a few games here and there. But I do think, to the point of Khris Middleton's value that he got back, I think it's also interesting when last season the Wizards had an offer on the table, 2 first-rounders for Kyle Kuzma, and this year when they finally traded him, they got a pick swap in AJ Johnson and Khris Middleton.
But that's indicative of how poorly he's played this year.
So like, both were depreciating assets, and they met.
28% for three is wild, bro.
Yeah.
So like, I can kind of see like the through line of like what they were trying to do, which is get younger, get more athletic. Sure, but like, everybody that they brought in is a sub 30% 3-point shooter. I think all of them are shooting sub 70% from the line. Like, and I wish Ken was here because like he could kind of vouch for it, where it's like the Lakers went away from building around LeBron with a bunch of shooters and they suffered for it. So it's like, I don't want the Bucks to fall into the same thing where it's like, I mean, we have shooters, but like, we can afford to have a non-shooter here every once in a while. It's like, you already got Ajax. Like, Brook doesn't really shoot. Like, he'll get hot, but he'll be cold a lot too. So like, you already have enough like non-shooting on the court with Giannis, and it's like, how are all these dudes going to play with him when they aren't threats? It's just going to shrink the floor for him. Like, granted, he's hitting from the mid-range this year, but like, I still don't think that that's going to open up the floor the way that, you know, the Bud Ball Bucks did.
I think one thing we have to start to accept and understand too, with Khris Middleton being traded, is that we're entering into another phase of Bucks basketball built around Giannis. We've seen different team constructs around him, and to your point of like, well, we know one thing that's proven and tried: put shooters around him and you can see how the floor is spaced. And it seems like they're leaning in now to like, we're going to be a bigger, more physical, more athletic team, and we're going to try to overwhelm you with that. I think the Brook part about his inconsistencies, he can definitely go cold, but people respect his shot. So like he is still going to space the floor. So even if it's a night where he's cold, he's going to be able to space the floor because other opponents respect his 3-point shot. Now Kuzma, the hope is that
he shoot it.
Right. 28% this year is bad. He's a career 33% shooter from 3.
That's
the
nuts.
best year he ever had was 36% from 3, which is about league average.
I was going to say fairly average.
So the hope with Kuzma coming in is that with the gravity that Dame and Giannis can create, he'll get a higher quality of looks, and therefore he'll be able to knock them down at a higher clip. That's the hope.
Question for you. Like, do you know, I don't know if you've looked this up, but like, what are his catch and shoot numbers like? What are his wide open catch and shoot numbers like? Are any of them like, there may be a nugget of like, oh, maybe this will work?
I saw someone go back to his Laker days because that was the last time he was playing the role that he's going to be playing for this Bucks team. And I think his catch and shoot numbers from the corner was like 35 or 37%. It wasn't great still. But again, you hope that the efficiency can improve. But my point with that is I keep pointing to like, but there's nothing in this history that shows me that he can hit those levels that we need him to hit. So if that is the case, he is going to have to be a dog on defense. He is going to have to crash the boards really hard. He's going to have to know how to cut, how to find himself available, and try to take advantage of his open looks. But I don't think that the Bucks are considerably worse after this trade deadline than what they were before the trade deadline. They had holes before the deadline. They filled some, but in filling some, they opened up other ones. And I've come to the realization that this Bucks team is just going to go as far as Giannis and Dame can take them. Like, that's the bottom line. And it's not because Stone Cold says so. It's because that's the way this team is set up. Kyle Kuzma ain't here to be a new big three. This is the team with a duo now. And everyone else is supporting this duo of Dame and Giannis. And we talked about second round probably was a more realistic place before the trade deadline to see like they can make it to the second round easy. Yeah, I can see the second round. I can still see it. And I can still see them getting past that if you have Giannis going crazy, if you have Dame going crazy, because Giannis should be the best player on the floor in every series in the East. So you already got that advantage. So can your role players step up enough? Can you play good enough defense to find a way to win? And like, my hope lies in Giannis. My hope lies in Dame. And what this trade also did is it opened up financial flexibility for them to be able to build out the roster better. So like this season, they did what they could, but in the off season, I'm curious to see which way they go. And then in 2026, they're going to have a lot more room then as well to continue to maneuver. So I've gone through all the emotions, the anger, the please, no's, don't do it. Then it was done and it was like, crap. Why? Trying to understand the why behind it. And it's like, I get it. I understand the why. I don't know how likely it is for it to come to fruition, but I hope that it does. But Tim, how have you been feeling about this situation, the trade deadline for the Bucks?
Well, to answer your initial question, as far as the era goes, sad. This is the most winning that we've seen in the Bucks of our lifetime, and he's a key part of that. So sad, grateful because of the fact that we've been able to witness that and also accumulate a championship in the process. So definitely grateful for sure. Confused because why the hell would you send him to the worst damn team in the league?
For Kuz. That's what Kuz was.
Like, even if it wasn't, like, or if it, the worst team in the league. I think.
I mean, to be fair, they sent Drew to Portland, so it's kind of par for the course.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's I guess they want to get you away. You gonna get away.
They gonna do what they gotta do.
They gonna go. Hey, no,
they going where the play is at.
Even if I see you again. But no, it was fun while it lasts. Like this too shall pass. Like you said, it's in the second era of Giannis's shit, maybe 3, because Brogdon was part of number 1.
We got the Bledsoe,
the Bledsoes, the Brogdons, like he didn't had himself. So this is,
I mean, basically, like look at it as like the coaching staff. So you have the Kid era Bucks, you have the Bud era Bucks, and now you have the Doc era Bucks.
I don't know how I feel.
We don't count Adrian Griffin.
I still don't know how I feel about this post Bud era, but
as you wait real quick, because I see Shylin said, just to be honest, I knew we weren't going to get Michael Jackson in a Khris Middleton trade, but we didn't even get Tito. We got Jackie.
We got Marlon.
We got Randy.
Yeah, no, it was fun, but as far as this new era goes and how I feel post trade, we got younger.
Yeah, like 2 years on the average age. Like, yeah,
we got more athletic. We got more mobile because again, Khris couldn't do the left to right thing too much no more. We got another person that can rebound. So what we're losing in Khris was his veteran leadership a lot, his chemistry with Giannis a lot,
the playmaking
and the playmaking,
shooting,
but the trade-off would be mobility. More, we could probably play a little bit faster with whoever's on the floor now. Taller because what's the name is 6'9". Kuz, yeah, he can rebound. I'm sure when he get here, they be like, look,
no, he's a plus rebounder.
But don't do that. Go get all of them. When you on the floor, go get all of them.
I wouldn't do it necessarily, but I do wonder if we'll ever see like a Dame, Kuz, Giannis, Bobby, Brook lineup just to go like super big. Well, I mean, I'm just saying like they've thrown, or like maybe like TP instead of Bobby, just like a really super big lineup and then Dame. Like how big can you go? Because again, like I think that you can kind of lean into the size aspect of Kuzma. Like he opens up a lot more flexibility because I think he can realistically guard 2 through 4. Can probably switch on to some terrible centers. So like you can play him up a little bit or play him down, and you can kind of. Oh, Torrey Craig is going to the Celtics.
Who's going to the Celtics?
Torrey Craig.
Megan Thee Stallion. Okay.
Come on, Corey. Yeah. But that flexibility is kind of like a selling point for me. Is that like he unlocks Giannis at the 5 lineups, and like again, you can kind of go up jumbo because he can realistically play the 2 if you need him to.
Lean into it. Lean into the defense. That's what they're gonna have to do here.
Yeah, that's in essence that's the trade-off. It's the defense of potential, the defensive potential, the rebounding potential. It's not the shooting potential for sure, but it's the athleticism for sure. So we'll see how they go. Adding Kevin Porter Jr. is interesting.
Nope. Not gonna do it. so like I was fine if not underwhelmed prior to like 257, where it's like, oh, if this is all we doing, then whatever, like it doesn't change much of anything. But then when I saw that one come across like right at the deadline, I'm like, man, fuck this organization. Like seriously, like fuck you, fuck whoever made that decision. Like I get that allegedly he assaulted his girlfriend, but we know of a bunch of other things that he did in previous stops that tell me like he is not a good person. Like I said it last week or week before when we were talking about like, would you bring Jimmy to this team? And it's like, I would rather lose with a team that I can root for than win with a bunch of assholes. And like, this is what I mean, like, honestly, I don't even have to worry about either opportunity because I don't feel like it's a team that can win and it's a bunch of assholes. So like, but it's just hard. Like one of the things with Kuzma where it's like, well, shit, at least he's not Miles Bridges. And then they go out and do this for a player that's not even good. Like he's not even worth all the other shit that comes with it because he's shooting below 30%. He's not very good on defense. He's young, he's athletic, sure. But like I don't see like why the upside there of bringing on a guy that is by all accounts a terrible person.
It was I was surprised to see his name come through. Look, people do things in life. I gotta choose my words carefully here because I don't want to put other people's business out there. I want to be respectful. I will say, I can't find a way to. I can't find a way to say it without putting other people in it. So what I will say is that for Kevin Porter Jr., I hope that the young man is starting to turn his life around. You need to see some action evidence behind it. And that's my hope for him. I don't think he's somebody who is going to be in line for a lot of playing time. I was a little bit surprised as well because like Ryan Rollins, I get he has the shoulder, but I think you're kind of set. So I'm thinking that he might actually be more of a break glass in case of emergency type of guard on the Bucks roster, which I mean he's still on the roster, so that is what it is. But yeah, man, that's a tough one. There are people who are very upset with his inclusion on this team, and I understand it. I'm not going to tell you not to be. I understand it. But you can't really swerve out that one clean. Shout out to Jello.
Did the remix come out yet?
Did the what start?
Did the remix come out yet?
Friday.
Okay.
But the Bucks adding Jericho Sims. He is not somebody who is a star. He is not someone who's going to come in and give you 20 minutes a night. He is a change of pace big and somebody who you can count on if someone else in your front court is going to be out for a game or two. You throw him out there. But I do like that he adds a different dimension to the front court than what they currently have. He can't shoot a lick at all. Not even a little bit. He's a rim runner. He's athletic. He's defense. He's going to go get boards.
He just get the rebounds.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
What we needed.
But again, it just comes with the spacing, right? Yeah. So when he's thinking about lineups that the Bucks are going to run, one thing I said with Kuz coming in, I wonder if they move Andre Jackson Jr. to the bench and they bring AJ Green to the starting lineup, so that at least they have some more initial shooting in that starting lineup, and then you can kind of stagger Andre in for Giannis. You can just kind of stagger the non-shooters in a little bit better. If AJ Green is coming off the bench, you also still have Gary Trent Jr. off the bench, who was someone else who's going to go get a shot. Right. You got Bobby, who's going to come and get the bucket.
I mean, we still got a lot of shooters.
You got some guys who are going to put it up. But
yeah, because
I mean, like Camille said, like I think Kuzma is really the only rotational player that they just brought in. So like,
everyone else is minor.
Yeah, everybody else that was playing before, like if anything, like, see, I don't know. Like I would probably rather, because like what my thinking is, like I wonder if this just removes Andre Jackson from the lineup completely, but like you kind of need like a primary defender. Huh?
You still need him as like your primary point of attack.
But I mean, like he's only playing like the first 6 minutes of each half or something like that. So
bring him off the bench.
I think that gums up like your bench lineups, but
because then if your starting lineup is we can move on from Bucks. We got a lot more to still talk about. But if your starting lineup is Dame, AJ Green, Kyle Kuzma, Giannis, and Brook, and Doc runs a 4-man rotation, then that means off the bench you got Taurean Prince, Gary Trent Jr., Ajax, and Bobby Portis. Like that's your next 4 still. And then Jericho Sims, KPJ, Pat Connaughton. Those guys are just like, hey, if someone's out, you're in. Even Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is really the 10th guy. So like he's before you even get to Pat Connaughton, Kevin Porter Jr. Like they're still shooting in it. You just got to make sure you're staggering them right, I think.
Yeah, I just feel like when they went back to, well, whatever, we can move on. We can talk about it offline. That's more of like a thought exercise between the two of us. Like we don't need to bore the podcast with it.
No, I feel. Let's talk about a couple other star players that were traded before we move into the Super Bowl. So Jimmy Butler finally got his way. He was traded and extended by the Golden State Warriors in a 5-team trade. 5-team. We're going to be seeing some big multi-team trades, I think, with the CBA going forward still. But how do y'all think Jimmy fits with the Warriors?
I think that. Oh,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Tim.
The Steph and Jimmy pairing, nice. The Draymond Jimmy pairing. Interesting. Because either they're going to turn up together and be like the bashing brothers and shit, or they're going to be bashing them brothers. Each other and shit. Like, either they're going to turn up or tear it down together, bro. Like, and I feel like a lot of flack has been given to Steph when it comes to clutch moments in the playoffs or clutch games in the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah, that's one of the, but maybe that could just be mainstream media, but that said more than enough. Anyways, adding Jimmy Butler to that team gives him another guy that he knows for a fact. If shit gets hairy in the playoffs, he gonna go get it. Mm-hmm. If I need to depend on somebody in the playoffs, he gonna go get it. If hell, I'm having an off night because Stephen, we've seen him in the playoffs go 3 for 15 type shit. Like, kind of scary, but on those nights, that's where Jimmy come to play. Things like that. And so I feel like for them, adding another guy like that, especially if they can make the playoffs and getting playoff Jimmy with Steph, will give him a little bit more. Add a guy like that gives other stars a little more space too, because he has his own gravity about him, especially if he get hot. Playoff Jimmy get hot and do what he did to the Bucks. Like, Steph will have ample room to just chill and sleepwalk his way into a 30-point game type shit. So I think it does help them out. And he's a two-way player too. So he gonna bring some fire, some passion. Like I said, I'm real curious to see how him and Draymond work out. Like, it on and off the court. Yeah, honestly. But he got paid. Jimmy got paid.
Like he wanted to. He got what he wanted. He didn't get the first destination he wanted to go to, but he got where he wanted to. And I think to your point about the scoring, this season in particular, because there's been no solid number 2 for Steph to rely on, all teams do is they sweat Steph the whole game. And it's like, well, who else going to step up? And they got somebody who is proven to be able to do that in Jimmy Butler. Now, the systems that they run and everything, I'm curious to see how they adjust to Jimmy's style. And if they just kind of give Jimmy the space to operate and do his ISO thing that he wants to do. But he gives them an option that they need it. And with the financial commitment and being 2 years, it lines up with the Draymond, Steph Curry timeline. So to me, this is the Warriors being like, we didn't really want to be desperate here, but like this window for these two franchise stalwarts, these legends, is coming to a close. We got one last shot to try to bring somebody in that can keep this window as open as possible. They tried Kevin Durant. KD said, do not want to go back there. Please try somebody else's line. They tried Paul George in the summer. They tried Lauri Markkanen in the summer. And it landed on Jimmy.
And paid him.
KD said, y'all better keep going if you try to spin this block.
Yeah.
I see, like the Warriors play such a unique style that I have no idea what the basketball field will be like, because it's tough. Like they've played a certain way for so long, and that was predicated on Steph and Draymond, but also Klay. And like Jimmy is a completely different player than Klay Thompson. From a personality standpoint, again, like Draymond and Jimmy are either going to be best friends or they're going to be fighting before the playoffs start. Like there's no real in between. So it's high risk and moderate reward, because like even best case scenario, I don't think that they're touching OKC. I don't think they're touching the Lakers now. I don't think they're even touching Dallas as they're currently constituted. And then you still have Denver there too, and Houston is tough. Like I think that they went from a team that was possibly out of the play-in to maybe being able to push for a playoff spot, but I don't think that their ceiling is relatively high, because it's not like they just are bringing Jimmy in to the existing team that they had. Like Wiggins was a key piece of like what they were doing. And they also had to get rid of Kyle Anderson. They also had to get rid of Schroeder. Like they lopped off really key pieces. Granted, like they were key pieces on a 500 team, but like they did have to get rid of key players that they had, and now are elevating players that weren't in those roles to begin with. Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point. I'm looking forward to seeing them playing together. I really can't.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. But we also had De'Aaron Fox. He went to the Spurs. That's where he wanted to go. He wanted to play with Wemby, and he got his wish. You got Zach LaVine to the Kings. You got Zach Collins and Trey Jones and Kevin Huerter to the Bulls. Which team improved the most after this 3-team trade, and why is it the Spurs?
I was gonna say, is that a trick question?
Why is it the Spurs?
It's the Spurs because they brought in a borderline All NBA player for like maybe one decent first round pick. Like maybe. Like they didn't really give up anything much in the player department. One of the picks that they sent is a first rounder and like name only because it's definitely going to be 2 second rounders. I think it's like Charlotte's first round pick this year, but if it's outside of the lottery, I mean, if it's a lottery pick this year, then it turns into 2 second rounds the next year. It's like Charlotte ain't making the playoffs. So that's a fake first. The other one's like San Antonio's first in like 2 or 3 years, and it's like Wemby gonna be an MVP candidate. If he's not already, he definitely will be at that time. So good luck with the 28th pick in the first round. And then you got Minnesota's picking like 31.
That's his guess.
I'm just saying, like it's gonna be like 24-year-old Wemby.
It's gonna be
like,
up there.
Assuming health, like, and now De'Aaron Fox, like the floor is only so low. And then I think it's like Minnesota's first. Like the one thing that they did give up, which is why Chicago did it, because apparently like the Bucks were in conversation to get Zach LaVine for Khris plus stuff. But they got their first round pick from San Antonio back because they were concerned about basically eventually giving it's protected for the next couple of years, but eventually like it would turn into an unprotected pick and they want to be able to tank without having that pick just floating out there. So that's a long-winded way of saying like De'Aaron Fox is clearly the best player in this deal. He gives like Wemby like a clear number 2. A team that was already playing really well. You're taking Trey Jones like out of that mix and replacing him with De'Aaron Fox. So it's like that's all upside.
Castle and Vassell.
Vassell, Sohan, like they didn't give up anything. No offense to the players that they traded. Like they didn't give up anything of value. And probably a really good player.
Big key rotational pieces.
Yeah, you have to say value. Dang. Soften the blow, sir. Jeez.
They ain't listening to this podcast.
We never
family
know.
might be. You don't know who know them.
Yeah, Spurs just now they have a dearth of point guards. Like you have Fox, you have Paul, you have Castle. All 3 are very talented. So it'll be interesting to see how they are deployed. If Castle may have to take a seat again, but he's been playing well, so I don't know. It's interesting. And then unless you're buying out Khris. But
no, Khris they're starting Fox together.
That's what it's interesting. Like how they'll deploy them because you still got Vassell who's going he needs his minutes. You got the Wembys, and then you have the like you said, the Sohan, so you can find minutes for it. It's just it's interesting how they'll be deployed.
They still got Keldon Johnson.
You said they still got who?
Keldon
Still have Keldon Johnson.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Okay. So
like they got a pretty decent squad, like, but it's like
yeah. I mean, like I think they see Stefan Castle, maybe not anymore, but like I think they saw him more as like a long-term point guard. But like right now, I don't think he plays point guard on that team. Like they still they had Chris Paul and Trey Jones, like they were monopolizing the minutes at point. So like Castle's a wing for all I'm concerned. So like I don't think that bringing in Fox necessarily changes his minutes, aside from the fact that everybody's minutes are going to have to shrink to kind of accommodate.
Yeah, and I think it was I can't remember who I saw discussing this, but I was like, dang, this is a great point. I'm mad that I can't remember who was saying it, but they were mentioning that De'Aaron Fox is the perfect type of point guard to play with Wemby because he's a point guard on defense that likes to gamble. He likes to use his speed. He likes to gamble. So if you got Wemby behind you, you feel even more empowered to play an aggressive style of defense because you know you got a 7'4" dude behind you who is blocking stuff at a rate people ain't seen since Mutombo was in the league. So like it's a really good pairing defensively for this team because I think Fox is a little bit better on defense than people think that he is. So you got that pairing, and then on offense, the way he can use his speed and him being a quicker guard with Wemby being a big that likes to pop, even though people wish that he didn't pop as much as he does. If you got a point guard with speed and that can penetrate, drive, and get the defense collapsed on you, and you can just kick it back. Like, he's going to create such good looks for this team with his speed, and I think it's just a really good fit for them.
Like, think about Wembanyama blocking a shot and how many times that's going to open up De'Aaron Fox leading a break, like going the other way. Like, think about, like, from Wemby's hand to the basket, it's probably going to be like 3 seconds. Like, it's going to be crazy. So yeah, I love it for San Antonio. Like, they didn't, again, like you guys are going to, like, they didn't give up anything and they got an all NBA player. So it's like a no-brainer. I think that Sacramento is building a really good 2K team. I just feel like the mix of players isn't going to mesh very well on the court.
Yeah, I could see why. They really gonna lean on that offense being high powered. I can tell you that, because there are a lot of questions defensively on that roster. Like, yes, they got Murray, they got Keon Ellis, they got Carter off the bench, but that's about it.
Well, I just want to know why they're trying to recreate the Bulls that barely made the play-in for like 3 straight years. Like, obviously you have Levine and DeRozan who are actually Bulls, but it's like Malik Monk and Kobe White, same. Sabonis is better, but the way that he plays is similar to Vucevic. Keegan Murray. I'm saying, like, the way that they play. He's like the Charizard to the Charmander, but like it's the same role at least, and like they have the same deficiencies and the same kind of strengths. And then Keegan Murray is Patrick Williams. Like, hell, like I saw somebody even compare like Caruso and was Devin Carter as like the balding defensive ace.
Oh
no.
I'm just saying, like, it's the same kind of team building exercise, it feels like. And it's like, that didn't work before. Like, why would you, in a stronger conference, like, why are you trying to recreate that?
We're going to see. I think the offense is going to be fun. I think it's going to be real fun. But last thought on the NBA trade deadline before we move off, because we mentioned Chicago. They don't understand what a rebuild is. Why are you giving Lonzo Ball first of all, shout out to Lonzo Ball getting an extension, 2 years, $10 million a year. Love to see it. Just didn't expect it in Chicago because y'all just traded Levine. But that's it. That was it. And now they all are talking about there's different ways to win a championship. You can have, 1 or 2 lead guys and then have everyone else around. Or you can have 9 to 10 really good players on one team and then they can win too. And we're going with that model. If you don't get out my face, if I was a Chicago Bulls fan, I would be disgusted. I don't understand it.
Camille, you know exactly what their existence is. It's just a Herb Cole Bucks. Like, you're afraid to be bad, but you don't have the competence or like the courage to be good. Like, they've picked a lane. It's just the middle lane. Huh?
The courage to be bad, I would say, because you got to be.
No, not even, because like the courage to be bad would be like trade Vucevic, trade Kobe White, try to get as much as you can for the few pieces that you have that are actually worth a damn. But instead, it's like, oh, well, they were haggling over the price of Vucevic for Golden State. And it's like, just take what you can get. Like, he's having a career year. Learn from Washington. Like, they should have traded Kuzma last year when he was having a career year. Vucevic is having a career year. Capitalize on that. Like, he's not going to have the same value a year from now because he's going to be a year older. He's probably not going to be shooting as well.
Unless in the Bucks line with Khris Middleton, one could say.
Sure.
The people who were saying trade Khris Middleton, they were saying do it while the value is high. I understand what they were saying because now we got Kyle Kuzma, but hey, he's our guy now.
Well, I mean, like, you can blame Giannis. Apparently, he killed like a Chris Jimmy trade like 5 years.
I don't blame him for that though. I would have killed that too. Jimmy, I don't think Jimmy and Giannis' personality would actually work really well together. But all right,
which I've always suspected that Giannis hated Chris Paul, and it was confirmed.
Oh yeah, he went on site. Giannis said, "I'm right here. I'm here."
Was good. Talking all that shit from across the court. Because like it always made basketball sense for it's like, why wouldn't they go after Chris Paul? It's like, no, because Giannis threw his body in front of that. I was like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk Super Bowl. NBA. Bravo. Y'all done took the NFL's week and said, give me your chain. I appreciate it. I
wonder if that's partially because like we've seen this Super Bowl relatively recently.
Yeah, it was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah. Like there are only so many storylines that you can kind of.
So with that being said, what storyline from this matchup actually intrigues you the most?
The only one that's really relevant is like, can Kansas City 3P because it's never happened in the Super Bowl era.
I'm glad you added in the Super Bowl era because people act like it's never happened in NFL history, but the Packers have done it twice. NFL's been around for over 100 years. We're on the 59th Super Bowl. There was a champion in every single one of them years before there were Super Bowls. And guess what? The Packers three-peated twice. Just had to get that out there because people ain't putting the respect on the franchise. But
I would say the storyline, the in-game storyline between the rushing attack for the Eagles and the rushing defense for the Chiefs.
That's mine too.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dogfight. Like whoever cracks first probably gonna be the reason why their team is unsuccessful in achieving the Vince Lombardi Trophy this year. I have to chat GPT that down.
That's real. Like I was like, I want to see what Spagnola's defense is going to do against Saquon Barkley because James Cook got loose in the AFC Championship game, but I wonder if that was more so because the focus was really on trying to slow down Allen, and they just weren't focused on him. But they're going to have a game plan for Saquon. I'm really curious to see what that looks like. I think the Chiefs are going to try to make Jalen Hurts be the one to beat them, but that Eagles rush attack is so vicious. The offensive line is so good. I don't know even if the Chiefs do game plan against Saquon and stack everything up against him that he still won't find a way to get loose.
Oh, he gonna find something. He gonna find something, but I don't see a 200-yard, 150-yard, 160-yard game. I'll probably see like an 87.
If he gets 150 yards in the Super Bowl, they have probably won, and he is the MVP.
Yeah.
If those are the numbers that you talking about, MVP, Super Bowl MVP for him. But who y'all got in this matchup?
Chiefs.
Why?
Can't bet against them. And not at this point now. Like they're starting to develop that aura where like you rooting for the other team in hopes that they beat them because you can't bet against the Chiefs. Like that's kind of where we get into. So until proven otherwise, I would love for Philly to win. Truly, like mainly because I want Jalen and Saquon to get their moving for sure. But,
yeah, I was gonna say to double back on your point, like the Chiefs haven't allowed a 100-yard rusher in their last 18 playoff games.
Yeah, no, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like if I could see him like 87 or something like that, but he ain't.
I mean, on the flip side, he has 5 straight 100-yard games. So, like, something's going to break.
Yeah.
That's why I said whoever has a crack in the armor first is the reason why that team will not win, bro.
I think Saquon comes out on top. I got the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. And I know Mahomes is Mahomes, and I completely understand why you just said, I ain't going to bet against him. Because, again, his resume is ridiculous at this point. And the Chiefs have been in these high-pressure situations, these Super Bowl situations so often. They know what to expect. The moment's not going to be too big for them. They know what it takes to win. But if you look at the numbers, you look at how the offense has been operating with Mahomes, like, it ain't been as good as it has been in years past. They finished bottom third in the league in red zone offense. So even when they get in the range, a lot of time that was field goals attempts.
This is Kansas City's offense.
Shaky. Big shaky.
So
this Eagles defense is so real. It is so real. This is a top flight defense. If anyone is going to rattle Mahomes, if anyone's going to be able to shut that down, especially when they've been shaky, I think this Eagles defense can do it.
So I feel like you pick your poison in this game if you're the Chiefs. Which side do you want to have sitting down longer?
In what sense?
Do you want to keep your best defense against Saquon and them is keeping them off the field as long as they can, but you're choosing to fight Philly's defense? Or Saquon might light your ass up, but you're running the ball a lot, which means you're running the clock a lot. You're giving Mahomes less opportunity, but you're also doing it to contain or keep the Philly defense off his ass. Like, so that you give him a spot. Yeah, sure, go ahead. If it's quick or whatever the case may be, like, you're trying to figure out which part of that team do you want to attack, where you feel like you're most successful at. Which side of the ball do they?
That makes me even more confident in Philly. You saying that, I didn't think about it in that way, but it's true. The best defense against Patrick Mahomes, keep him off the field. Don't let him get on this field. Just keep him on the sideline. And the Eagles have an offense. If they're able to generate rushing yards, even if they just get 3, 4, like if you can just consistently 3, 4, have Jalen Hurts be efficient, not turn the ball over, they can keep that clock moving and just lessen the time that Mahomes even has to be on the field. And then when he is on the field, defense, you rest it. Go get it. Go get it. Because they can get pressure with their front four. They don't need the blitz.
But that's what I was saying. Like, even with Philly, like, because if you feel the same way about the Eagles side of the ball with Saquon, keep his ass on the bench. You're choosing to have these long, drawn-out offenses against the best defense in the league.
I mean, it sounds like what. Yeah, no, I don't think like you ever like even
you don't choose to have a long ass thing, but you choose to run the clock. You choose to, hey, we're gonna try to keep them down. Let's keep our time of possession up a little bit more. Let's hit them with a couple dink and dunks. That way we're only moving the chains, and then we'll still make our way up the field. Like those type of strategies come into play so often, depending on what team it is. That's why you hear this term, keep them off the field.
Yeah, but you do that by running the ball. It's not as, I mean, whatever.
And some have the short passing game and kind of shit. Josh Allen.
I mean, that's what the Chiefs do a lot. They have a lot of short passes too. They keep the clock moving.
Random ass flicks and shit. The goofy ass, like they have a lot of tomfoolery going on in that backfield that it can be a pass or a run out of there.
Well, it sounds like to me is y'all saying that there's gonna be a slow ass, boring ass game.
I could definitely
haven't the last couple Super Bowls.
We can definitely be it's big long drives. Except
it's a Chiefs Super Bowl.
Defense is gonna be on. I think the Eagles defense about to. I'm looking forward to it. But what I'm also before I move on, for the record's sake, I had Eagles. Tim had Chiefs. Eric, you had
black quarterback.
So you got the Eagles. All right. I know what we're all looking.
Okay, black wag. Black quarterback wag.
With a black. Okay. I can't keep up with all the abbreviations. I'm getting old.
Ain't that a show now?
There is a show on that. Wives and Girlfriends of the
I started it the other day.
Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna get off topic here. Super Bowl halftime show, Kendrick Lamar. Let's do some predictions. What song do y'all think he opens the set with?
Not Like Us.
I think he closes with Not Like Us.
I'm with you on closing it.
I say that because I think the whole show should just be Not Like Us like 5 times.
No.
Hit him with it again.
Like he did at the
matter of fact, do it like the pop out. As soon as we get to A minor, start that motherfucker over. Just keep going.
Anyway, I thought about Humble. I feel like
that could be a nice way to start.
Either he gonna kick the door in with some shit, or he gonna ease your way into, because he could do swimming pools.
I think it's gonna be something from GNX.
Half of it.
I think he starts with TV off.
That's my real guess.
Something that's gonna come in real hard.
Plus that gives as much distance as possible between TV off and Not Like Us, given their similarity.
Yeah.
But although I guess you could like mix into it, but like we're definitely gonna get Luther, but I feel like that'll be like halfway through because that's when he'll bring his out, and apparently Luther Vandross's
his estate
Twitter account was like, "Hey, pay attention." So we're getting that song, and there may be something special with that. So I think that would be like kind of like the apex or like the middle part of it, and then
I can see Hey Now as well kicking in the door.
See, I don't think he can't do too much from GNX. You only get about 7. 7-8 songs while you up there.
That might be like a medley part or a snippet where it's just like
he could go through them quick to get more in. But we gotta hear Humble, like you said. You gotta hear Humble. You gotta hear All Right.
Yeah.
DNA.
Yeah.
N95. Like he got some stuff that's really gonna bang at the Super Bowl if you go that route.
Ties, like if you want to bring out King,
he could do that.
Like, what do you think besides SZA? Like, what do you think? Who do you think will come out, or who do you want to see come out?
I had heard somebody else, not SZA.
Lil Wayne?
No.
Please no.
No. Because it was it was one of those symbolism in the
shit. Bring out somebody Canadian just to
because SZA hit him with the Gatorade,
blue Gatorade.
But they were saying, who was it? I want to ask Sam, but she busy because she the one that kind of brought it up to me. She brought it up to me, and I was like, that
I know
makes
what
so fucking sense.
And that's Snoop.
Oh yeah, I'm good. I think Lil Wayne would actually be funny if he did come out, but I think SZA might be the only one, and he just rock. But that being said, I would also like to hear Like That. Just let me hear that verse. Would enjoy it. Would very much enjoy it. I'm looking forward to it.
That might be the opener. Like,
it
think
could
about
be.
the horns and the yeah.
Oh boy, I'm excited for it. Okay.
I'm texting her now to find out who she was talking about. So I'll get back to you.
I know he won't do it, but I would love to hear just Euphoria. Like, I love that song.
I do too, but that song is long as the whole halftime show.
Yeah.
Before we move on to wrestling real quick, Shaolin said that ain't nobody out there beating the best team in the NFL, the Kansas City Refs. Roger Goodell and the Ref Association came out with a campaign of stop saying that, y'all. We are not cheating. And he also added that the RPO is a cheap killer. So
she responded, but she said it was debunked by said artist, but Tyler, the creator.
Hey, he said he on tour or something.
Yeah, that's what she just said. She was like, it was Tyler, but he debunked it, said he's on tour. I'm like, okay. Because it was the marching band in the background.
Yeah. But much like when I thought Shams was hacked, that's what you say if you're going to be the surprise halftime show. He's like, oh, no, I got a show that day.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Okay. We already going along because we have so much to talk about from the NBA deadline. So in regards to the Rumble, I'm going to ask y'all just a couple of questions instead of everything that we initially had planned to discuss. What was your favorite moment from the Royal Rumble?
I have two. One is Jay winning, obviously. Yeah. But I Show Speed getting fucking killed by Braun Breaker was hilarious. Like, the best shot was the one that I think came from his stream where he's just like it's focused on him and you just see Braun like running in the background and then it's just like he disappears off of the screen. Like, it was fantastic.
It was fantastic. I love seeing Alexa Bliss come back. I'm not even a huge Alexa Bliss fan, but the pop that she got and just seeing her actually back after 2 years, it was just kind of like, like I
asked y'all last week, like who would get the lives popping. They wound up being Alexa Bliss. So
Joe was up there though.
Joe
Hendry.
Oh.
I mean, it was decent.
No, I don't
think it was anywhere near Alexa. Like, Alexa was like like the initial pop was huge, and it was like a sustained roar, like halfway down the aisle. Like like people were very happy to see her.
She's gonna help.
Did you see real quick? Fandango came on NXT this week. I was like, why didn't they bring him at the Rumble? I would have popped crazy hearing that.
No, not too much TNA. He can show up on NXT. He can let Joe show up. They said his name, so he had to appear.
Man, Fandango and Joe Hendry in the ring, the world wouldn't be able to handle it. But
Jordan Grace like really impressed me. Like, obviously she was in the Rumble last year, and she's WWE now, but like she had a really good showing, and hopefully she debuts on the main roster because I think she's ready. And she was just like throwing people around. Like she picked up Nia Jax easy as hell, or Piper Niven, right? Whichever one of the big girls was. Like she picked her up like I pick up my kids. Like, it was like she ain't struggled at all. It was just like whoop.
I like the black girl moment.
And
then
Chelsea Green
in the middle.
Come on, Green, dog. What you doing?
Chelsea
like,
Green in Box Office, man.
Yeah,
that girl.
that might be like my favorite non-black female wrestler.
I've been welcome Chelsea Green. See, y'all gonna come aboard. I've been trying to put y'all on.
Whoa. I've been on Chelsea Green.
Okay,
I'm good.
Green, Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, Jacob Fatu was fucking shit up in the men's rumble. Like as soon as he came out, everybody, like the whole mood just changed.
I love seeing the teases in the matches. I'm like, this could be something.
That's the other moment. Like my favorite part of the Royal Rumble, outside of the special guest appearances, is always the tease storylines that can. Well, you threw me out at the Rumble, or we ran into you, bumped into me on my entrance that caused me to get thrown out, or whatever, or we was tussling and you let Brock Lesnar throw both of us out. So fuck you, like anything you washed past me. So the breeze, the niggas fall and then made me fall out the ring because of you, like for whatever reason.
Real quick, like give me your really quick. Don't even think about it, like your top 5. I want to see Jacob Fatu wrestle this person.
Braun Breaker.
Yes. Like when they came up to that Breaker,
Roman,
of course. I wanted to see him and Andrade. I want to see him kind of go.
You wasted one of our picks on Andrade.
Andrade is a fantastic, like them in the ring, a fantastic wrestler. They would put on a crazy ass match, but they probably let Jacob squash him.
Bro, it's about aura. It's about like
right.
Who are the ones where it's like
Gunther.
Gunther. Like Gunther. That's what I'm talking about. Like the ones where it's like I can see this as a WrestleMania match. Like Andrade, that's a match that's on SmackDown. It's like 5 minutes.
There was like 4 of them teased at the Rumble. I was like, nah, I got to see this match.
I think Sheamus, like that was a nice little face off too, because like Sheamus be hitting people. Like,
yeah,
I wouldn't put him in like my top 5, but like when they teased that, I was like, yes, please give me that one. I think those top 3 are like the main 3, like Braun Breaker, Gunther, and Roman. Like, yes, sign me up.
Oh, Jacob and Drew would be a good one.
They would throw some names.
Yeah. And shit, I guess while we had that shit, Jacob and Seth. See where that go.
You can put Jacob Fatu against any of the top guys, and I'm probably gonna be into it. You can Damian Priest. Hey, sign me up.
Hey,
CM Punk, sure. Which moment after Seth and Roman all fell out together, and then CM Punk follows, and then Roman looks at CM Punk and yells, "We were partners a month ago," and then the very next moment, Seth does a double foot head stomp.
I ain't trying to hear that shit.
That's one of the ones where I'm like, I don't know how y'all pulled that off without him actually like driving his feet into your head, into the
both feet, both.
Dude did a coup de grace, like
all 10 toes. Scalp massage, like dog,
crazy.
That was nuts.
But that was actually one of my favorite parts too, where it's like I think it was a run where it was like Cena, Punk, Rollins. Roman was already in the ring, so then those 4 are hissing off, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, who's coming out next?" And it was Dominic. It was like that was perfect. Like that was the perfect person to come out to kind of like deflate that moment, but also to be like super funny. So good job trolling Triple H.
Yeah.
Best match of the night.
Men's Rumble.
Yeah. I feel like
I'm going Cody and KO.
That was good. I can't get invested in the Cody matches. Like I don't know what it is.
It's not believable that he gonna lose no more.
I was so drawn in. I palm of my hand. They had me in that match. I could not look away. And also, during the promo, I had to play Jello Tweaker, and Tweaker goes perfectly with the promo package that they played. I'm telling you, it's perfect. If you time up Tweaker with the Cody KO promo from Rumble,
I want to laugh like y'all was.
It fit.
Now I want to laugh like y'all was. It better be that damn good. I want to laugh the way y'all motherfuckers was back there. Eric, I bullshit you now, bro. They was laughing so damn hard at this shit. It was a couple times I'm like, okay, back there laughing so damn hard for like, bah, I'm like, damn, everybody looking. I don't know if they laugh at that.
So perfectly. Like KO doing a stunner and he talking about I'm about to let the go and he just sitting there falling out at the same time. It was perfect. But that match had me in the palm, like, and then Sammy coming out and not knowing what he was going to do added a dynamic to it that I loved. I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, really quick.
Wait, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, shout out to Triple T and Kendrick or Ken for winning the Royal Rumble pools.
Yeah, Triple T. Make sure you hit up E to get your swag package.
Yeah, sure.
Shaolin said that he loved the tag match, just not the ending. Yeah, the Street Profits coming out. I was kind of confused as to why they were there and helping DIY when DIY is the reason that they lost the opportunity.
I mean, I think they explained on commentary that it's supposed to be.
I didn't like the explanation.
I don't feel like that match should have been on Royal Rumble. Like, no offense to them. Like, this, I guess it's similar to the Cody thing where I just can't get invested in Motor City Machine Gun matches. Like, sure, it's good wrestling, but it's just like it don't move me.
The match at WrestleMania was or not WrestleMania at the Rumble was pretty good. I had moments I thought,
yeah. I'm not the target audience, so if people enjoyed it, I'm happy for them. But
on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you rank the Royal Rumble, the first PLE of the year?
I'll give it a 9.
9? I'm probably like an 8.5.
I'll give it 8.
I enjoyed both the men's and women's Rumble matches. The tag team match I enjoyed as well. Like the ending was a little interesting, but I mean them beating up after they helped them still stumping them out. So okay, cool. But it was really good wrestling in between there. The Kevin Owens Cody match was a really good match. Yeah, bro. Like Jay winning really did. Like I was sad because I didn't win, but it was a good moment. Like it was like, hey, that's what's up. Like that's dope as shit. I really was surprised about Cena not winning. And then for him to go afterwards and be like, yeah, you know, I ain't never really I'm summarizing. I never buried nobody. I did what always was best for company. I really was pushing for him to win this time. I'm glad he did it. But I'm guaranteeing that I'm gonna use my power in the future to get what I want.
That's what he said.
Pretty much.
He sat there and said, I think I've earned it, and I'm going to be in Elimination Chamber. So that's that. That man
said,
I'm going to win. Not a qualifying match. No, I am in it.
I'm there, and I'm going to give y'all a month to talk shit about me because I ain't going to be here either. And then when I come back, I'm going to win the match because I ain't never pulled no strings in this company for me and not ever. But I'm going to do it today. I was like, I only believe part of this. I believe that part. I believe that part. The not pulling the strings part is kind of. I mean, I've been a fan, my boy, but come on now.
I mean, Tim, you and I had a conversation like when we saw each other over the weekend, but it's like I'm interested to see like where they're going with this Cena's storyline, like his retirement storyline, because I feel like the entire year is going to be built around like getting him to title number 17 or 18, whichever one breaks the record. And it's like they're not gonna blow that at Mania because then like what do you do with the rest of like the 6 months that you have him? So like there's gonna be a chase like for a while, and like him basically kind of like being like I'm gonna start throwing my weight around like in character. I'm gonna start throwing my weight around. Like that has an interesting wrinkle to me where it's like we're not gonna get a heel Cena, but like we're gonna get a much more interested kind of like maybe more meta Cena where it's like I'm gonna acknowledge some of the things that you said about me over the years and like bring that to the storyline, which
kind of be like The Rock.
I was just about to say that
the final boss, but I'm the mini boss.
I'm disappointed in The Rock because what was the point of coming out at Bad Blood at this point?
That's what I was talking about with that interview and shit. Like after that, his whole perspective on life literally changed to the like you can tell last year he wanted to be in Mania bad. Like, it was in his character, it was in the interviews, it was in all of that shit. This time around, he's kind of like I see you.
I think the difference between last year and this year is he was coming off of what's the movie he was in? Black Adam. And all the bad news about like Red One, and he was just coming off of like bad press. Whereas this year he has Moana, he's Moana 2, he's doing Moana live action, like he's back popping now. Where he's like he don't need WWE that like he did last year.
I mean, they helped him get back to.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like he only comes back. If you notice, like he's only come back when like he's kind of hit like a rough period in his Hollywood career.
Dang. So WWE, they just
so he using them, bro. That's what you saying.
Right.
I mean, I think it's a symbiotic relationship, but like
that's true because they both make money.
Yeah, like I don't think WWE is upset about it. They're like, yeah, come back whenever you want. Like if things getting rocky, no pun intended, like you always got a home in WWE.
You always got a beach to land on.
Always, and he is on the board, so like he always gonna be connected. Shaolin added that 8 is his lucky number, and he got stuck with Speed during our Tech File Royal Rumble pool. I guess it worked.
Speed was minding his business, my boy. Like he wasn't expecting to be out there. Triple H, seen it. Seen it.
It's better than Tozawa, so
I mean, right? You had no shot with Tozawa,
and he eliminated somebody.
Yeah,
even got a point on the board, bro.
And he celebrated. The whole crowd was with him. Huh. What soccer player do that?
Ronaldo.
So everybody already knew. That's smart. They no celebration. Everybody know going. Hey, they know what to do.
And he been rocking the Ronaldo jersey like Ronaldo ain't never did it before in his life. He be doing it. I'm like, bro, I fuck with Speed though. I do. Like him and Kai was on the same. They came out at the same time, up at the same time. They was on each other's streams and shit like that. But he blew up on YouTube. Kai blew up on what's the name? But like Twitch. On Twitch. But Speed, because I watch a lot of like him and this cat named Destroying. Like they be doing like a lot of like 7-on-7s, flag, full content. Like they do a bunch of sports shit. Like they set up different stuff. So I have interest in that. So I'm like, I've seen some of his stuff before. Him jumping over Ferraris and shit. The Speed is very athletic, and he's past his shit. Like the name suits.
I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like I didn't know who that kid was before WrestleMania last year. I'm not tapped into the streaming world. Like if you are, God bless you. But that and TikTok is where I was like, you know what? I'm old now. I'm fine with not knowing everything. I'm fine with not being tapped in. Like it's just like y'all got it.
We ain't the tastemakers no more anyway. No. We ain't, it is what it is. Like we go to grocery stores and they playing songs now that we grew up listening to. I be in a grocery store like, okay, not Janet Jackson playing in the grocery store. Like we're there. I realized it today. I sent my niece's Bible verses today, and I was like, I really am that auntie. I'm really like
auntie. That's big auntie energy.
There, auntieing today. Like it was like on my spirit. Let me send my babies a little message. I almost went all the way. Like I love y'all so much, but I was like, let me just send the
got TT on something.
I was gonna say big TT energy.
Shell said that I just got here, but that Speed sequence had me deep belly laughing.
Like that, he gave that boy whiplash. Like
the way his head
snapped back.
Enjoyable. All right, y'all. We gonna wrap up here. There's some other stuff we could talk about. This feels like a good place to stop here. Smooth hour and a half. See what NBA games are on. Enjoy the rest of the evening. So thanks to everybody in the comments who came through for us. As a reminder, make sure you follow us on our social media platforms at Technical File, TECKNICALFOUL on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Technical File Podcast on Facebook and YouTube. We record the show live every Tuesday generally. Today was a special occasion with being the NBA trade deadline. We wanted to make sure we cover all the news, but you can normally catch us live on Tuesday evening. So make sure you're subscribed on the YouTube, got the bell notified so you know when we go live and you can come join the show. If you want to follow me personally on social media, you can catch me.
Wait a minute.
On Twitter, Instagram.
It's TT.
Big TT energy. Yeah.
How you work this Instagram?
What's the Instagram? What's the argument?
The TikTok, and Blue Sky at Camille Monet, CAMILLEMONAE.
You can follow me on my face.
Not my face, bro. The book face, Sheldon y'all Waller.
The Twitter talk. Camille, what's your blue face?
Oh, here you go. Don't he got a kid somewhere?
It's relatable. It's relatable, man. I be messing all the words up, and I don't care. They just gonna be messed up. You know what I meant.
That's even worse when you don't care no more, too.
I don't care no more, man.
Dude, I call my kids the wrong name, and like I used to be like, when my parents did it to me,
like, ain't no way. How the hell?
Clearly, I'm Eric. Like, how you don't know that? It's like you just whatever name comes to you, like you come here now.
That's what I said. My mama got there. My mama was like, boy, what's your name? Come here.
I get it.
I get it. I really do.
Shells would help me get on that sky blue. Like I said it before, but like my mom's thing used to always be messing up song lyrics. I get it. You get older. I ain't got time. I can't keep all these lyrics in my head. It's so many songs. I'm gonna just make some stuff up along the way. I know the rhythm. I know. Listen, some of these songs, these words about to get made up. I'm not about to keep playing with y'all. There are some songs I got to know by heart. I still got it, but other ones, I'm gonna mumble or I'm gonna make some words up.
I only got so much brain capacity. Like
now, if I know a new song, I really fuck with it, bro. Because like I ain't trying to learn the new shit. But if I do, like I fuck with it.
That's fair. I realize I know lyrics. Don't realize I know the lyrics. Like it just starts to happen. Like
muscle memory.
I was just randomly started rapping it, and I was like, "Oh, I know this. I don't know how."
Yeah, I get it.
Y'all give y'all social so we can get out of here.
I forgot my blue sky. So I'm just going at Bucks Burn on Twitter still. I'm still tweeting.
The Eric J2, by the way.
Thank you. See, again, like I only got so much brain capacity. Like,
just had the conversation. So
I feel you. K here is 216 on Instagram and Snapchat. Twitter and Snapchat. Everyday Gentleman on
underscore gentleman.
See, on Instagram and
we think I'm real old in the last 5 minutes of this.
Bro, I'm saying it's your boy TIMKINZ, the number 3, aka Ask Ketchum, aka Mr. Give It To Me. The day I forget that shit, we done. We out. Dilly.
I think that the fact that we can never remember Ken's outro, also, we just kind of old. It's not gonna happen. We should have known it by now.
No, because we didn't feel like learning that he was gonna change that shit.
He has changed it. Hey, hold on a second. That's what I'm talking about. Hold on. I'm gonna rob myself for a good time.
Again, we listen to this every week. I do not know the words to this.
I'm getting there.
I'm getting there. Hey, we're gonna have a competition. Who can learn the words first?
Like 5. That's fine.